Hi, good April 9th to everybody. Today's April 9th as of recording this. I don't know when it's actually going to go up, but hi, I'm back home finally. I'm settled in. I've been home about a week or so. It is time for the Q&A, and I'm sorry if I'm squinting because the sun is like right there, right in my eyeballs. I have, last I checked, 1,620 something or other subs, so that's really awesome. It's been 120 more than the last time that I made a video. So I'm not really sure how to start this other than I have the questions right here. Some of them came in over the YouTube channel, and some of them came through emails or messages on Patreon or, you know, what have you, Facebook. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get through it. Neighbors' dogs barking. I got animals being loud. I got birds singing. So we're ready to go. These are in no particular order. This is just how I got them online. Reading them off the phone here, if I look down. Sir Wolfa asks, do you have a special memory with an animal? If you're comfortable enough to share, please do. So, I do. I'm not sure if you're referring to a pet, like Chi-Chi running around back there, or if you're referring to a farm animal, or what. I have a lot of special memories with animals. I don't know if you mean a wild animal. I'm gonna assume that you're talking about a farm animal. So, from the first litter of bunnies that was ever born at this farm, they were New Zealand whites. It was Smudge's litter, and then a doe that I had, one of my first ones that I had, who is now gone. Goodness, chickens. So distracted. She was the biggest baby out of them. She was huge and just big and fluffy and fat. It turned out to be a doe. I named her Sandwiches and made her one of my main breeders. I remember when she was a little baby, all the rest of the babies would run around. Like, if you've ever had baby rabbits, they're crazy. They're bouncy and running around, and they're not super tame at the very beginning because they're scared of everything. They're a prey animal. Everything in the wild eats them, including me. And she was never like that. She was really, really tame. And she would come up to me, and then she'd lick my hand, and I remember taking her over to Grandma's when she was about 4 weeks old, and I put her on the couch, and Grandma was done petting her and all that, and I was just sitting on the couch and put Sandwiches next to me, and she kind of ran around. I'm doing this with my hands. She kind of ran around, and then she stopped, and she looked over at me, and then she came over and just flopped. And I don't have any video of that. You can go on YouTube and you can look up bunny flops, and rabbits will only do that whenever they're really, really comfortable. Are my eyes closed? I'm sorry. I don't know if they are or not. Maybe I should have picked a different part of the day to do this. But yeah, she was a really sweet rabbit. And unfortunately, she met with an end one winter when a bunch of stray dogs decided to come and tear the bottoms out from underneath my cages. I have different wire now. That doesn't happen anymore. As far as maybe another one, I used to have a big, what's it called, the big white chickens, Cornish cross. It was a big Cornish cross. It was a rooster. I didn't know it at the time, but I bought him straight run. I ended up getting two white, well, they were all white, so two hens and one rooster. And any of you who've known me for a really long time, this was like 10 years ago, will remember this. We named him Chickenzilla because this rooster was it was the size of a turkey. He was huge, absolutely huge. And he was really awesome too because he would come up. He was kind of like Sandwiches. You just like this big old huge, not scared of anything animal. And he'd come up and he'd sit on your lap, and you know, he'd let you pet him and stuff, and that was really nice. He ended up dying also, actually after what would be considered a really long life for a Cornish cross. They're the meat chickens, so they're butchered at like 8 weeks old. I had him for about a year and a half, and then we had a really, really nasty summer, and all of my chickens ended up dying of the heat. So that was sad, but it happens sometimes. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Maybe a long answer, but I don't know what kind of bird that is, but it's really loud. It's just right over the trees. I'm gonna have to put together a B-roll of me just getting distracted by birds everywhere. I got these birds, I got hawks flying around, I got songbirds being loud. There's one over there singing. This next question is from Ruben, my buddy Ruben. You may have seen him in other videos. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if he's been in a video. I've definitely recorded while he was over, but I don't know if I ever ended up using any of that footage, at least yet. Anyway, Ruben is a good friend of mine. He lives locally. He comes over every so often and comes out, cosplays with us. He was my Yajirobe one year. Last year, actually, at Anime St. Louis when I was Trunks. Awesome guy. Hi, Ruben. I'm sure you're watching this. He asked, what's the future for the Beatles, and will you eventually breed to sell? I accidentally answered this question in the YouTube comments because I thought it was on a different video where I had mentioned the Beatles before. I am going to answer it again for you, and the future of the Beatles is actually exactly that. I'm going to be breeding them to sell, and I'm also going to be using them for doing taxidermy work, so it's going to be European skulls. Gosh, the sun. European skull work, skull mounting, any just bare bone sort of taxidermy. I have tried and failed many times to do the taxidermy where you use the fur, the feathers, and either I don't have the attention span or I'm not doing it right or something, but so far all of those have failed. So I'm going to stick with the Beatles right now. I really love them. They're wonderful to look at and they're really interesting to watch. They're actually inside. I'll show them to you if I can remember to. Here's the Beatles. Let me get the lid off here. So there's the Beatles doing their thing, eating a piece of liver. Looks pretty gross because it is. Doesn't smell or anything, but they do have a beetle smell to them. Let me see if I can pull one out here. Here's one. There's like a whole bunch of them in there. They're pretty freaky, right? Some people might be uncomfortable by these the little holes that they make. There they are. Just living their beetle lives. Tuddles asks, how old are you? Oh, there's 4 questions. How old are you? Do you play WoW? Do you sell the skulls? And do you taxidermy quail? I kind of answered that one a little bit, a couple of those. First one, how old are you? I'm 32. Do you play WoW? WoW being World of Warcraft. I do play World of Warcraft. I'm not playing at the moment because I can't afford a subscription, but I do play, and I really enjoy the game. It's probably the one that I've played for the longest, most consistently, and have a bunch of friends on there. Some of my Facebook friends are actually people that I've met in guilds. My very first guild on Antonitis, it was called Stormweaver Clan. So shout out to you guys if you're watching this. Hello, it's me. It's me, Abrisi. You can add me if you want to. I'll put my battle tag down there in the description, maybe. Do you sell the skulls? I do sell the skulls. Right now I'm on a really, really low production because the Beatles, it's been the winter and it was cold and they weren't eating anything, and then I had to move and a whole bunch of stuff. I was kind of sort of indirectly forbade from doing skull work indoors when I was in Carthage because it did get pretty smelly at one point. But yeah, whenever I do have the skulls, I do sell them, either on Etsy or some other way. Do you taxidermy quail? I don't taxidermy quail, unless you mean skull work, again, or bone work. At the moment, I don't have any quail alive, or cheapin being birds. Right now, they're all eggs. I do have some eggs. I got the eggs from a fella named Chris when I was in Carthage. He actually lives in Joplin, so he was like 20 minutes away. I've been watching his channel for a really long time. He helped me a great deal when I was first doing my rabbit harvesting and stuff. His channel is Slightly Rednecked. He doesn't know I'm doing a shout out, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So his channel's Slightly Rednecked. He does a lot of stuff he helps you to raise eggs and meat from a whole bunch of. Let him do his spiel. Go watch his videos. He does the whole spiel at the beginning of every video. And he's wonderful. He does a lot of good tips. He's sort of suburban. He's not in the city. I mean, he's in city limits, I guess, but he's on the suburbs. It feels very country where he's at. I've been to his place. He has a really good setup. I'm pretty jealous of it. I got this mess back here. But yeah, go visit him. That's where I got my quail eggs from. I don't know that he sells them a lot to people, but you can ask, I guess, if you want to. And if you go through his videos, he'll show you the various quail and things that he has. But yeah, they're eggs right now, and if I can remember, just like the Beatles, if I can remember, I will show you my incubator full of soon-to-be baby quails, I hope. Temperature's been kind of messy. Alright, and here are my eggs. Also just hanging out, being eggs. I need to kind of rearrange them a bit. Take the ones from the outside and kind of switch them around so they're all a little better. There's like a hot spot, not kill hot spot, but the ones in the middle, I just don't like them getting as much, or getting more heat for longer than the outer corners. Sitting at about 100 and odd degrees. 100.5 is better. I lost the other thing, like this thing, so I have a piece of just a freezer bag taped to it. It's working fine. But yeah, those guys are due on April 19th, I think? Something like that. April 18th, 19th. And we'll have, hopefully, little baby burbs. These are the ones that I got from Slightly Rednecked, or from Chris. So yeah, thank you, Chris. I doubt you're watching this, but thank you, even ahead of time. We'll see what's up. I'm not going to candle them this time. I'm just going to let them go. Next question is Tanya Stengel. Hope that's how you pronounce that. Tanya Stengel. Good luck, stay safe. Thank you. I am safe. I'm very safe here. It's peaceful. If we want to send you something, where do we send it? Loves. I love you too. If you want to send me things, I am no longer in Carthage, so if you happen to be one of Vaughn's subscribers and you're used to seeing me kind of hanging out on her live streams at her house, I no longer live there. I won't be on any more of her live streams for the foreseeable future. So you can send anything you want to send to me. Instead of to her address, send it to my address down in the description. If you want to send me things, go for it. I got an Amazon wish list. I got a whole bunch of links down there in the description that I'll probably do a spiel on at the end of this video. Serenity Roses Oddment says, congrats on the growth. Thank you very much. I was wondering about your being a naturalist. Is it something you grew up with or something you adopted later? It is something that I guess I didn't grow up doing it, but it came really naturally to me. Anybody who's known me for a really long time knows that it's almost compulsory for me to teach people things about nature, and it's kind of annoying, I guess, to them sometimes. I know that I've chased off a couple people with it before, but hell with them. I grew up watching things like Animal Planet, Discovery Channel. The earliest one that I can remember was John Acorn. He still is, I think. He's probably quite a bit older now, but he's a naturalist from Canada. He's a Canadian, I believe. And that's the earliest one that I can remember. And then, of course, Steve Irwin he played a huge part in my learning about nature and becoming interested in doing naturalist things, interpretation and things like that. So, John Acorn, Steve Irwin, and then of course the superintendent here at the local park, Wanda. I don't know if you want me to, she wants me to tell you her last name, but she is pivotal. She come to my 4th grade classes and she would give us owl pellets, and we just like take owl pellets apart. And I think she's kind of responsible for my bone fetish, my dead animal fetish. But we took apart these owl pellets, and there were these little skulls and like these tiny little rodent bones and stuff in there. I thought it was just the best thing in the world. And then as I aged, I understood exactly what it was that I was doing. It's not what I went to college for. Nobody ever gets a job in what they go to college for. But I went to college for agriculture, incidentally. While I was doing forestry, a man named Steve Bost came by. He is the he's the park naturalist of Montauk. He came by to our tree class to tell us about the Ozark Chinkapin Foundation, or Ozark Chinkapin trees, really, and about the foundation that he had founded recently at the time. It's been about 10 years now, 10 years, something like that, I don't remember. I was still in college. So 2007, 8. Well, anyway, he came and he talked to us about this tree, this Chinkapin tree that I won't really get into. It's endangered. It was around and now it's not, and how he was trying to save it. And I got pretty inspired by that. And then I joined the foundation, and since I've been doing all of the video work actually for them up until recently, where I have lost contact with them for the moment. Naturalists, you'll find, if you ever deal with them, including myself, are pretty hard to keep contact with. We're busy, and we're not in a place where there's phone signal, so it's not like you can call us anytime you want to, or internet for that matter. But yeah, I didn't really grow up doing naturalist work, but I ended up doing it, and I think it was a really natural progression from my interest in nature as a child to, you know, what I do now. The next question related to that one actually is Kara. Kara? Please explain what an interpreter is. So I kind of did. An interpreter is not always a naturalist. Most naturalists are interpreters, but it's not the other way around. When people say interpreter, they usually think of somebody like a guide, a person, and they are a guide, but a guide for somebody who doesn't know the native language, so an interpreter of that works for the UN. They're translators, so they're translating between, you know, English and Spanish or French or anything like that, French and Spanish or Japanese, all of those languages. And in a sense, instead of translating a language, a spoken language, I'm translating to you the nuances of nature. So when you look at this clover here, or you look at this clover, you see a clover. You see something that kind of grows in your grass. But what else do you know about the clover? Do you know where it grows, how it grows, what eats it? Is it edible at all? Is it poisonous? Does it have stinging hairs? You know, what is its life cycle? Does it grow in the winter? All of that stuff. If you just look at this plant, you can't really, you can kind of get some ideas about where it might be growing. It's growing in the sun. You can infer that it enjoys the sun, or at least it doesn't get hurt by the sun. But you can say that it's big. You can see it's big, so it's getting plenty of nutrients. But as an interpreter, I can take this clover and I can put it into context. I can tell you a story about the life of this clover. An interpreter's job is to translate, a naturalist anyway, is to translate nature instead of, you know, the spoken word. So it's the same thing in a different context. Hope that kind of answers your question, Kara. I got 2 more questions, and then I'll get into, this is a really long video, I'm really sorry about that. God, what has it been, 20 minutes? I have no idea. It's been a long time for me. But I have 2 more questions, like I said, and I will then get into a couple of points that I want to, other points that I want to do. Janice, from I don't know where, they just sent me a question. Will you be doing more hikes? I will be doing more hikes, and because of my work schedule this year, instead of being, I'm not doing interpretation this year, at least not as my main job. I'm going to be doing maintenance at this same park that I was at before. So I'll be doing like all the mowing and all of the, you know, the tree cutting and the animal catching and all that stuff. And instead of coming back for interpretation, which I had done 2 years in a row, I did it this year and 2017 and 2016. I decided that there are, frankly, a lot more jobs that open up where maintenance is concerned, and I'm more likely to get a permanent position if I were to get some experience in that field. So I'm just diversifying, really. I'm trying something new. I spent about 3 months at the end of last year doing maintenance, and I really liked it. I really like physical labor. I'm not super strong, but I like physical labor, and I like being outside. And I don't like being blinded by the sun, but I do like the sun. So because I'm going to be doing maintenance, that means that my schedule is like from 7:30 to 4:30 every day, except for if I'm, you know, scheduled for an event or something, I have to work at night for parking. But I'm going to be able to spend like the last part of the day doing whatever the hell I want to. Probably going to just come home and lay around because I'm lazy, but because I'll have a pretty good income, a steady income for at least the next, hopefully 6 months, starting in May, I will be able to do a little more traveling. I'm not going to have weekends off, so probably not too many conventions, but I'll have other days of the week, a couple days of the week that I can just go fuck off to some other place. I really, really, really want to go back to Hahn. I went to Hahn State Park for the eclipse. I took like 20 people up to the top of a mountain and watched the eclipse and stuff, and you know, interpreted there with them. We had a really, really good time, and I remember earlier, no, it was the previous year when I was at Montauk, I met a man named, I believe his name was Ralph, and I'd met him a few times there. Really, really nice man. and he recommended going to Pickle Creek. And turns out Pickle Creek is in Hahn State Park, and I was in Hahn this whole day, but I was working the whole day and I never got to go to Pickle Creek. So I'm gonna do that. But there's 88 parks or 90 parks or something like that here in Missouri, and I really want to go to all of them. Probably not happening, but I can at least go to some of them and we'll go on some different hikes. Maybe I'll go fishing, maybe I'll go on a camping trip now that I'll have a chance to do that. I'm not gonna have a messed up schedule. So there's some plans in order here. Last question this time around is from Met, and it is, what breed of rabbit do you have? I have a mixture of a bunch of, I don't know, none of them are purebred except for Smudge. Smudge is a New Zealand, he's a New Zealand, I was gonna say New Zealand white, New Zealand black, he's a black rabbit. I think he has one little white paw. So he's the only one that actually I know the breed of. That's a lie, sorry. I have mini Rexes also, and I'm thinking about actually switching to mini Rexes because they're small and they breed easily and they have a really good meat to bone ratio. They're smaller, which kind of sounds bad, but they have just as much meat, like proportionately, as any other rabbit does, or even more. The main breeding doe that I had, the main New Zealand, she died. She got out when I was in Carthage, and she, for all I can think of, she ran herself headfirst into the fence and kind of bopped herself to death. Yvonne went out in the yard to do her own video, and she just found her laying out in the yard. And the rabbit had gotten out of her cage and all that, so I don't know what happened exactly, but she's in the freezer. She's going to be going to the Beatles. I've taken what I want from her. And then, I don't know, Jerky Wagon is some kind of blonde rabbit. I have no idea. Medium breed. But yeah, mini Rexes and one New Zealand. And if I could find a New Zealand, a doe, a really good doe, I would definitely breed them again, but for the moment, I guess I'm just going to use what I've got. I know that you've been hearing these birds, these chicks over here, so I'm going to switch cameras. I'm going to leave this one here because I don't want to... Hey, what's up? What's the matter? Aw, my dog just walked up looking sad. Are you sad? Aw. Okay, let's address these chickens. Okay, there's, I don't know, 7-something chickens in here. Hey there. This is a really friendly one. These are my future layers. Hey there. She's sweet. Go on. These brown ones here. These 2 brown ones. This little blonde one. That little brown one there too. Are all, oh, and this gray one. Yeah. Oh, I'm scaring him. They're Americanas. They're the ones that lay the Easter eggs, the little green eggs. And then this red one, this is a Rhode Island red. I'm not being very good at getting them in frame. You really like sitting on hands, don't you? You're gonna be, ouch. Quit biting me. The one biting me is not a chicken, it's a turkey. So this is a little turkey, or gonna be a big turkey, just a white one, plain little turkey. And then the yellow ones over there, gosh, I'm really bad at this, I'm sorry. This one here, this yellow one, and that one in the corner, those are Buff Orpingtons. They're all females as far as I know. They were sold to me as females, including the turkey. Get that turkey. And the turkey's really sweet. It makes like the cutest sounds, and she'll sit in your hand. You gonna sit in my hand? And then you're gonna sit in my hand too. I got 2 sitting in my hand. But look at them. Oh, I just love them to death. I love turkeys. And I love little Americanas, so I got 2 babies right here that are just really sweet. So there's my burbs. Oh, calm down. There's my burbs for the year. Sleepy dog. Okay, so I think that's going to be about it as far as the questions go. The video is super duper long. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing a weekly vlog from now on. I don't know what day, but it will be weekly, and it's going to be called, because I'm super clever, Weekly Whining. That's not tea, that's wine. I've not been drinking tea, I've been drinking wine. So this has been the first weekly whining. So I don't know what day that's going to be. It's going to be whenever I make it, but I'm going to make a point to at least do some kind of a vlog every week. I don't know what I'm talking about. I will figure that out in the future. Future me, that's your problem. You deal with that. Okay. I can't think of anything else to say. This has been a marathon for me, so I'm going to just direct you down to the description. If you want to go to any of my social media, it's all down there. I'm trying to remember to post on it, but I'm actually really bad at social media. If you need to send me a message, the best way to contact me is to send me a message on Facebook, or which would be on Hidden Thicket, or to I need to link that down there. Anyway, I'll link that down there. So Facebook, Hidden Thicket, or you can go to my Patreon link and you can send me a message there. You don't have to donate to send me a message. Just send me a message. It's fine. I'll talk to you. Again, I do have a Twitter and I have an Instagram, and I can't figure out either of them because I'm stupid. I guess I'm like 59 years old. I'm a few centuries too old, I guess, to understand social media. But if you liked the video, if you like me, or I know you don't have to like me, but if you liked the video anyway, go ahead and hit the like button. I'm not sure, is it over here? Is it? I don't know how this works. So it'd be probably right here. Watch it be backwards. Hit the like button. Do that. If you really like me and you want to see more of me, if you want to see some of my past videos, get alerts when I put new videos up, at least weekly from now on, then you can hit the subscribe button. That'd be really ballin'. And if you want to support me in some way, monetarily, I guess is probably, if you want to support me monetarily, you can go down in the description also. Everything's in the description. And you can go to visit my Patreon links. I've done a little bit. The reward system is kind of messy right now. I've had to catch up on. I'll explain that to my patrons, you know, to the people who that concerns. But go down there, donate. $12 a year. You can support the farm. You can buy a bag of food for the animals and help me go on more hikes and make more videos for you and all that. If you want to send me mail, that is down in the description also. P.O. Box 12, Piedmont, Missouri 63957, Hidden Thicket or Azimuth, Irwin, whatever you like. Now, if you're sick of me, you can go down to the description. Everything's in the description, and you can leave. You can hit that mystery link, go to somebody else's channel. It can be anything from educational to like dumb crap. I don't know. It's whatever I find. it's a mystery. I don't even know what it is down there right now. As of making this, I haven't picked one out. Thank you for watching. The birds also thank you for watching. Thank you for getting all the way to the end of this video. And I will see you in the next one, and I hope everything goes wonderfully for you. Thank you very much, and I love you. That was born. Hear that? That's a kingfisher. Call to you too. Oh. Those are crows. There's a little bird down there. Another bird. I'm distracted by little birds.